A train reactor spitting fire. The NFT analyzer. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your mint coins to tokens. He's got all the intel. Web3 wizardry to show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures grow. Web3 wonders, chain reactors on the scene. NFT insights and crypto.
Yo, good morning, guys. All right, give me a quick second. I yet again messed up the Twitter stream. Give me a second. Here, let me get some. Let me give you some fresh tunes to ease us in. What am I even doing here? Hang on. I think I set it for an hour from now. Whatevs. Good morning, by the way, Christian, John, Katz. Dude, somebody hold John, man. It's yikes. Also, whatever. We're gonna be just fine. Just fine. Although I'm curious if any of you guys, does anybody think we're not gonna be fine? I'm not that guy. I'm not there. All right, hang on. It's what? 8 a.m. I'm Central Time. It's 8 a.m. Let me get this right. Let's go 80. Go 807. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let me do it. $8.10. Boom. Okay, cool. On X. Nobody from X is watching right now, which I don't think many people watch there. 8:10. We'll be live over there. Okay, I think good now. I need a producer. I really do. Can I make it just go live now? Whatever, I'm not going to take much longer on this. 8:10. Today's the 13th, right? Okay, cool. We're good. We're good. Hey, I'll get it one day. Murray, good morning. Jeekles, what's up? Hey, I know some people think we're doomed. I know it. I see. Yeah, dude, Katz, I appreciate you saying that, man. We're gonna be more than fine. I tweeted a little rah-rah message this morning, and I mean it. Kat's our newest CyberKongs member. I mean it. You're going to see some FUD out here. I'm going to share a couple tweets here during the live stream of just FUD, just pure old FUD. And man, I read those tweets, and I know for sure it's nothing more than engagement farming. It is that, man. The fundamentals and the things that are kind of happening, things that we know are coming. A lot of it's assumptions on what we know is coming, but there's just no way that this cycle doesn't do something special. In my opinion, at the very least, what we did last cycle, but the potential's there for something, even more exciting. Shoot the FUDs into your... Jesus, John. You got that crazy FUD tolerance, I think. Incredible. All right, let's get into it, man. We got plenty to talk about. Guys, smash the like on the show here. I'm going to drop a link to the stream on X. Same thing, smash the like over there, too. Make sure you're subscribed here also, SlamX Official on YouTube. Guys, make sure you're following the Bull AI over on X as well. Dude, he's been really helpful. Helped me give away some more whitelists over the weekend, which was really cool, and he did a really good job. Had him give away 4 whitelists to a new mint, and he did it. He gave away 3 of the 4 spots. He's like, he's getting better, but he gave away 3 spots. He did a great job picking. Little tweaks will get it all the way over, but pretty cool. What he is giving away still, though, is his bull token. So base token, called the bull, tweeted him, he's giving it away. Tweeted him, tag him, the bull AI. Yeah, you should get to know the bull a little bit. Pretty awesome agent there, powered by Crypto Slam data. And so, of course, make sure you're following Crypto Slam IO. Some reminders. The Galaxy Quest. Hope you've been doing it. At the very least, hope you're aware. If not, well, I'm making you aware now. We've got a campaign on Galaxy. Mike Bennett. Yeah, the dark before the dawn. Campaign over on Galaxy right now. Grinding out points over on our SlamNet campaign. Ahead of a, upcoming TGE for a Slam token. So get in on the Galaxy Quest, earn some points, climb up the leaderboard. And yep. I still don't know what I can say and what I can't say. So I'm just not going to say anything else. There you go. Pretty clear. And also Tradeport. If you're not aware, you can trade NFTs on Tradeport. Base NFTs, Sui NFTs, Near. What else is on? They got a bunch of great blockchain NFTs. Trade them, earn points. Also part of this upcoming shit. I think I was about to say something I can't say. Part of the plans. So go grind out points there. You have until January 31st, I believe, for Season 1 over here on Tradeport. And there you go. All right, let's start with some good news. It's pretty much the only good news we have today. It's pretty much it. And it is Michael Saylor, or maybe be more accurate here, MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin, guys. Here we go. 10th week in a row here with a big old Bitcoin purchase. Funny enough, $243 million worth of Bitcoin. It just doesn't seem like much anymore considering what they had been doing, which was buying over $1 billion a week. Higher than last week. Last week around 150-ish mil. 243 mil this week, 2,500 Bitcoin. Will the streak continue next week? Kind of think so. A brutal market right now. It is. Right, I'm just having fun talking about it, and I'm telling you, it doesn't affect me in any way. In fact, January, while we talk about it starts out hot, that is relative to how second half of the year typically is in crypto, how second half of the year typically is in NFTs. And that said, usually January does start out kind of like it is right now. The past couple days maybe has been a little rougher than we're used to. Maybe a little bit. Here you go. $420 million liquidated from crypto, from the crypto market just in the past 12 hours. I know some of us were thinking or hoping we were over that hump, right? That maybe this week would be, a nice cook for us. And no, we're not starting out that way, man. We're just not. All right, I think stream's live on X. I'm going to retweet it real quick. Yeah, okay, cool. Finally live. All right, hang on. And there you see it in the market, man. I'm going to refresh that. But I tell you what, we got to, well, there we are again. I was going to say in the 90K. And we're back there. We're back there after, there was a little glimmer of hope this weekend. I'm going to peek in there. I think we got up to 95K sometime over the weekend. Did we touch it? Yeah, we sure did. It was yesterday. We touched 95K. There was some hope that maybe the worst of this was past us. It's not. That said, I don't think there needs to be concern about the Silk Road Bitcoin, right? The U.S. government getting that approval to sell $6 billion worth of Bitcoin. Man, I do not think that sale is coming. Because, guys, that approval they got from a judge to sell that Bitcoin, that is just one of a few steps they have to do in order to sell it. I don't think they got the time, guys. There's 7 days till Donald Trump is in office. 7 days. I don't think they can get that Bitcoin sold before he takes office. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Maybe there's a way they can get that done if they really want to give us the finger on the way out, right? If they really want to give us the finger on the way out, well, then maybe you see it. Otherwise, expect that Bitcoin to just stay put in the U.S. government's wallet here. Certainly hoping for that. So there you see Bitcoin, 90K. ETH, this is a little spicy. I mentioned this weekend where I normally say I'm not surprised for something to happen. I'm shocked and not shocked. I'm going to say that quite a lot. If Bitcoin goes under 3K, it's almost like the opposite I'm not shocked, but at the same time, it's shocking. If we see in a bull market, make no mistake, we're in a bull market, and if we see ETH under 3,000, if we see 20 whatever, I don't know, man. I don't know if that psychologically is really bad for us. I don't know if that triggers people to buy. I don't know. I do know that's a number that's going to make people feel a certain kind of way. And Kat said, I think I agree with you here. We're going lower before we go to all-time high. I see a lot of calls for us to get in the mid-80K range, right? Won't surprise me, but for whatever reason, ETH specifically under 3K, that feels kind of bad. Now, if you've been in this a while, it should feel bad at times, and not bad like we felt over the past few months. Past few months, I've been very bullish, very optimistic, and even when we dipped, never felt bad. Never had those moments where you just you can at times lose hope, right? Haven't felt that. Haven't felt that at all. This time, ETH under 3K, and depending how far it goes, I could picture more people getting there. I could picture that. Solana $175. Look at that, down almost 20% in the past week. ETH down almost 17%. Bitcoin actually performing very well compared to the rest. Checking out ETFs all the way back to Friday, 149 mil in outflows. That's the Bitcoin ETFs. And then on the Ethereum side, 68 mil in outflows. ETH had been performing so well. So well. Really felt like we had rounded a corner there. But right back in its trend of just outflows on a daily basis here. ETH under 3K, does that trigger those TradFi investments? Maybe, guys. Maybe. Certainly watching. But this is the way. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of this out there. Engagement farm. Purely an engagement farm. Guys, I remember Kook during the meme coin season earlier this year, like in the fall. I remember Kook tweeting about how meme coins were over and done for this cycle. It wasn't just that it's cooled off for now. He was saying done for the cycle. And it clearly wasn't. The AI meta came roaring through this space. Some animal cutesy memes, did fine, but there were other meme coins that did great. Not even AI meme coins, but just pure meme coins. Pure engagement farm. With almost 300 likes. Ansem saying the same thing. Him specifically about AI. This is just 2 tweets out of, dozens, maybe hundreds of tweets talking about this cycle being over. Purely engagement farms. And I have to point it out, the only reason I'm spending a minute on this, there are a lot of people who are new to crypto. And they're watching this show. Or they're watching out on X and they're seeing these guys tweet with their huge followings. And they assume these guys are the experts. And yes, they got experience. And you know what? They are experts. But I don't think everybody realizes the game that these guys are playing. And I know when I was new, I would have looked at these guys and actually bought it. I would have thought that, these guys know. These guys have made millions here. They would know. They're looking out for me. It couldn't be further from the truth. Pure engagement farming. It is not over. It's not even close to being over. And in fact, I argue that it's closer to the start than it is the end. So if you're new and you see those kind of tweets, just remember this is mostly all entertainment out there. It is. These guys are engagement farming. These guys have built their following for a reason because they're great at this. That's pure, it's FUD. And it's artificial FUD. Don't worry about that. Don't buy into that. I want you guys to know that's not real. Oh, that's not to say, though. It's not to say things don't look kind of rough. AI16Z, we just were talking about AI coins here. AI16Z is probably going to dip below $1 billion market cap. We knew it would. We absolutely knew this would happen. When you have, and we're going to get to this at the tail end of the show, but when you have a guy like Shaw, that is the face of AI16Z, he's a very questionable character. I like Shaw a lot. But if Shaw does something that's deserving of FUD, and I don't know that he did here, again, we'll get to this, it's going to impact the price of AI16Z. We knew it would happen. It's happened 2 or 3 times already. A pullback from 130, 40 mil down to 30 mil. A pullback from 500, 600 mil down to like 150, 200 mil. Now we've gone from 2.4 bill down to just over $1 billion. We knew this would happen. I look at this as a really, really great opportunity to get in. If you were looking for a way to get in, that's here. But it is worth pointing out just how down it is. It's down pretty bad right now, as is everything in AI. Here's a look at GOAT. It's the coin that really kickstarted this whole meta. Down to a 300 million market cap, guys. All-time high was over $1 billion. I'll say again, I think it's a pretty spicy opportunity if you believe that this AI meta is going somewhere special. I am that guy. I do think that's the case. Cerebro looking bonkers. In fact, let me pull up that chart real quick. Let me set the stage a little here too, guys. I got to figure out the best way to get this stuff in. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to get more into AICELLERATE. But the big thing I want to talk about today is something we predicted last week. Over the past couple weeks, it actually happened yesterday. That is Azuki, Anime Chain, Anime Coin. Would it be announced on their 3-year anniversary, which was yesterday? It was. It was announced. We got the tokenomics. We have a loose date. It's here. It happened. I cannot wait to get into that, guys. So in just a couple minutes, we're going to get into that. But yeah, here's a look at Cerebro. Look at that. That's a wild thing we're looking at. I've always felt, look, at Cerebro just coming back to its kind of like typical price, its typical trend. This was that big old run up was, I think, an announcement of them kind of building out a launch pad and an ecosystem. And I'll tell you what, I'm not the biggest fan of Cerebro. I'm not surprised to see that. I don't think there's a ton of substance here. Not in the least bit shocked about this. This is not to say Cerebro isn't going to go up a ton and won't cook and can't be $1 billion coin. I think it got close to that at one point. 800-something mil. So I'm not saying that and I'm not telling you it's never going to do that again and that it can't be $1 billion coin. It absolutely can. But it's kind of one of those I stay away from because I'm just not sold on Cerebro. I'll just put it like that. Anyway, entire ecosystem down. All of it. All the entire AI sector. We also knew this would happen. We knew it. We understand how this market works. We know how people are a little hot and cold with the AI stuff. Cutie, good morning. Good to see you, man. Oh, boy, Mike. I'm in the top losers, man. Well, I bet most of us do. It's all down so bad. Everything down 30 to 50% in the past week. That is in AI. Cookie up. But it is interesting, and B-Check is pointing that out. These spot listings on Binance for AIXBT and I cannot remember the other one. It was Cookie, it was AIXBT, and one other. Well, both of the AIXBT and the other one are down. These spot listings on T1 exchanges, it does not do what it used to do. Now, what I think is going to get really interesting is when Magic Eden launches their DEX, I think it's going to have the opposite effect. I do. It's a gut feeling, but I think when Magic Eden DEX goes live, I have a feeling that's going to be really, really bullish for these coins. We'll wait and see, but I think this space is changing pretty drastically here. There's the total market cap for AI agents down to 11 billion, guys. From its high of about 17 bill. Do we fall under 10? Could happen. It's probably pretty likely. But there you can see just how down we are, and I still believe we're going over 100 bill market cap for these AI agents. And potentially much, much higher. But that's us right now. Pretty interesting. All right. What we're looking forward to this week, we have CPI readings on Wednesday. So it's a look at the cost of living, basically. It's a look at inflation. The market probably moves one way or another based on that. And it could be the catalyst for that next part of the run. Could be. What numbers equal what? That I'm not sure. If inflation or cost of living is higher, does that make us think interest rate cuts are coming? I would normally think so. OSF is saying if that inflation number is down, it's actually good for the market. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Typically, at least how I've seen it, it's opposite. The hope of rate cuts fuels things. Inflation being higher would mean rate cuts. So I kind of read that different. I haven't read his whole comment here, so maybe I'm misunderstanding what he's saying here. Could be. But it is a big thing to circle on your calendar this week, is those CPI readings. There's some other numbers coming out this week. It is an interesting week here. Actually, both this week and next week, really, really important for this cycle here. So again, this week for CPI, I think FOMC is next week, as is Donald Trump's inauguration. Really, really, really spicy stuff coming. Hang on, Christian. Lower inflation equals good equals... Christian, can you explain that for me? Because I thought higher inflation means rate cuts. The higher the inflation, the higher the Fed will keep rates in order to slow things down. Higher inflation. Oh my God, you're right. I don't know why I'm thinking opposite there. You're right. No, okay, I'm questioning this live, like literally in my head. Higher inflation, I thought, is rate cuts. Whatever. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert with that stuff, guys. There's people, I watch people who stream and literally do that, and I know they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'll never do that. Because, you know what, like, I think Nature AC told me this. He's like, he talks about what he knows, and he's not going to pretend because it's so obvious when somebody's pretending they know something. It is. I watch guys who do it, and it's so off-putting. Like, it's hard to watch. In fact, I don't continue watching those guys. When I know somebody's faking it, there's a degree of fake it till you make it, and as long as you're learning along the way, and I hope I'm like in that ballpark. I'll talk about it. I'm learning about it. I'll get to the point where I'm talking about it much deeper, but yeah, that I'm still trying to wrap my head around, I guess. Anyway, Wednesday. Okay, this is what I'm most excited about. Fucking crazy, by the way. Okay, Trump gets in office. Something wild is going to happen, and something that impacts this space. And yes, keep in mind, it could be negative. We got the talk of the U.S. making Greenland a state and Canada. It's crazy shit. It's not going to happen. Although, tiny little baby chance it happens. Tiny little chance. The same with renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Hang on, I'm getting your points here, Christian. The Fed has raised rates specifically to bring inflation down. Yeah, again, I've got to chew on that a minute. But this is what I love. Look, this is not going to happen. But Buddy Carter, congressman here in the States, introduced a bill to abolish the IRS, repeal income, payroll, estate, and gift taxes. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. It ain't going to happen, although Trump is looking to change things pretty drastically. And so the point here isn't really to focus on this bill and discuss how likely it is to happen. The point is to discuss how likely is something crazy to happen in the next 4 years. And I'd say there's a damn good chance something, not this, maybe this, kind of interesting. Something is going to happen this cycle that literally turns everything on its head, and that's the thing that can make this cycle different, that can make this cycle special. We hope. I hope. I'm not going to put words in your guys' mouth, but something crazy is going to come. This is the taste of the things that I would just laugh at in the past, because this is not the first time we've got a proposal for something like this. It happens probably sort of regularly. This is the first time I see something like that, and I at least can think in my head, hey, maybe. Maybe. Be on the lookout for things like that. All right, let's get to the market, get to our top stories here. NFT sales yesterday, really, man, low volume this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, 16 million sales. Also, what the heck? I got a peek. We're going to get to the next screen. We're at 19 million sales already right now. Something feels off. Maybe there's a big sale. We're going to peek. But 16 million sales both Saturday and Sunday. On both days, sellers down from the previous week. Buyers also down. A much slower week here, or weekend, I should say. Transactions also down both days. Trade profits Saturday, 234,000 in the positive. Yesterday, 411,000 in the negative. Today, starting in the positive. Look, trade profits over 800,000. It does tell me there was probably a big sale, but here's where we're going to see something. Okay, it's Azuki sales. Okay, that's not surprising at all. Azuki saving the market right now. Marty, I did see that. Hang on. Marty, hang on. Dude, Elon Musk paying someone to play Diablo. Dude, I think it had not even Diablo. It wasn't Diablo. It's what is it called? What's that new game? Path of Exile. Although I think that tells me he pays somebody to do Diablo too, but Path of Exile is that game he's playing lately, and he definitely pays someone. I was talking to somebody about this recently too. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm like, there's no way he's running these companies and he's putting that kind of time into a game. I'm like, it does. There's no way. And I'm like, maybe he's very, like, not as involved as people think in those companies. And that's probably true too. Makes you question what he's doing at those places. How much of it is him just, like, checking in? The thing's already on autopilot. He's got the guys that work, and he just checks in and helps steer and give direction. Also, it's kind of funny. All right, back to NFT, the NFT market. Azuki's absolutely on fire, over 6 million in sales in the past 24 hours, plus another 2.7 from Azuki Elementals, plus another 1.3 almost in Beans. 10 million sales across their 3 collections. And of course, that's because of the anime coin. Spoiler, holders of those NFTs are getting the biggest bulk of that token. It's a nice distribution, so great to see that. Pudgy Penguins, 1.8 million sales. D-Market here in the top 10. Also Azuki, Little Pudgies, Quantum Cats, Bitcoin Puppets, and... Look, I'm going to... I kind of want to skip these... whatever, I'll just mention them all. Guild of Guardian Heroes moves into the top 10, replacing the BRC20, LED NFT. Hypeo. Just got to bring attention to Hypeo. Hot mint over on base, part of the Liquidium... or Hyperliquid ecosystem. These got up to a 0.3 something floor this weekend. Hot collection. Pulled back to what, 0.24 right now, but pretty killer for a 0.02 ETH mint. And these definitely got a vibe. Definitely got a vibe heading into an NFT bull market. I think those might do really, really well. All right, your top collectible sales here in the past 24 hours. Punk 4601, that's your top sale at 40 ETH, 131,000 bucks. Nice Azuki sale. Is that a rare? Why would that go for 30 ETH? Yeah, I don't know enough about the traits here. That doesn't seem that rare. Could be wrong. I don't know the traits that well in that collection. That seems weird. Oh, no, okay, maybe that was... Yeah, there must be something about that. That one sold for 200,000 last cycle. Wow. Now, when we saw those trade profits, a big chunk of that... 100,000 of it came from this guy alone. Big hit in ETH value, though. Big hit. Lost half the value in ETH. Actually, no, hang on. They took a big loss on that. Yeah, okay. They took a big loss on that guy. I don't get what makes him valuable, though. Either way, nice to see Azuki's moving. Nice to see them really keeping the market afloat right here. Pudgy Penguins, whole bunch of Pudgy sales. Decent day. If it weren't for Azuki, though, volume would look pretty atrocious, I think. John, I'll tell you what, it's a really good point here. Oh, Marty, about that game, about him, it's definitely not him. I saw those two. It's definitely not him playing. It's definitely not. It's not him. He paid somebody to build up his character, for sure. E-Rock, good morning. Marty. Or excuse me, John. 100K Bitcoin you thought would be a bigger news story. You know what? So I've been thinking about this, especially yesterday, today. First off, I know there's more people here because of content, because I can tell with views. I can tell with people who DM and say hello. There's definitely more people, but I don't think this cycle's barely started because that 100K barely moved the needle. I'll tell you what, I think that barely moved the needle. I don't think people realized how much more room it has to fly. There's another number Bitcoin's going to hit where it does shock people, where they get in and they're like, oh my God, I got to get in now. There's still a moment where that's going to happen, and it might be because of a meme coin. But I can tell you the masses are not here yet. They're starting. But the event, the thing that actually makes this where people can't look away and they have to finally try it out, that's still to come. Okay, I was thinking back to last spring when runes were cooking. 200K would do it, I think, John. I do. Maybe even upper 100K. But we're not there yet. We're not there as far as it hasn't happened. The number of views on my shows was significantly higher back in March and April. And it's a really good barometer for this space. It is. When runes were cooking, these videos would get 1,000+ views every single time, every show. I can tell that a majority of people still aren't here. That might not be the case. There are a lot of people here, but like the influx of people, it started, but the thing hasn't happened. The cook hasn't happened yet. And again, doing content is a little hack. I get to actually feel it a little different. It's like a leading indicator. Hasn't happened. Makes me want to check Google search trends here for crypto. The thing hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I mean, we pulled back. Actually, we got to back up a little bit. Let's go the past 90 days. This feels about right. Right? Like as we hit 100K, ramped up. Look at how much lower it is now. In fact, let's zoom out even further to see how low this is compared to, even bear market kind of. Yeah, I mean, we're below where we were last March. This feels right. Something else splashy is going to happen. The U.S. government making it policy to add Bitcoin to the strategic reserve is one of those kind of things. Man, this is like our floor right now. That's what it means to me. This is kind of our like new baseline for this cycle. I'm really, really optimistic about what's coming. All right. I spent way too long on not our top story, and this is our top story is deserving of a lot of attention, guys, okay? The 3-year anniversary of Azuki. Everybody thinking it's coming. It came. It's Anime Coin, guys. Pretty freaking exciting. Here it is. I'm going to play their little trailer because it's awesome, and their animation's so great. I mean, after all, they're in an animation studio now. Love it. Absolutely love it. Coming this month. We don't have a specific date yet. I don't know what we wait for exactly. I don't know if they have some technical things to work out, some campaigns that need to get locked in, but they will have campaigns. I will say this. It's a little underwhelming, and part of that has to do with the market. Part of it has to do with not announcing any other plans yet, and I do think they're going to have plans. So I think they held back some info because you need a few announcements. So the announcement of the token, that's here. Tokenomics. But here's the tweet. For decades, anime has shaped global culture. From art to fashion, music to gaming. Over 1 billion anime fans. However, those fans have remained passive consumers until now. There's a key thing here. I don't think anybody's really picked up on yet, or maybe it's being overlooked. It's easy to overlook because it's a buzzword people just say here. Alongside our early contributor, Azuki, the pioneer of decentralized brands and the premier Web3 anime community, we're building an open anime universe. This is the money line. Anime transforms the anime ecosystem into a community-owned creative economy. This stuck out to me like crazy. There's been a few projects this year who have done, I should say last year, who actually started doing ownership via crypto, via NFTs. I'm thinking of Wrecked Brands. I'm thinking of The Plague. I'm wondering right now if Anime Chain, Anime Coin, Azuki's in particular, are maybe leaning into that, where this does become a brand that is entirely owned by the community. Royalties and any kind of deals that they work go to the DAO, go to the community. I wonder if there's something much bigger going on here via a framework that they're going to reveal, I'm assuming ahead of this actual TGE. This really stood out to me. And where I said it's maybe underwhelming to people, we hear this all the time. Community owned, right? Creative economy. We hear that a lot. But I wonder if it means a little more here. I just wonder. Anime is going to launch on Ethereum and Arbitrum. I think we knew that, kind of assumed it, although there was some speculation that it would launch on Hyperliquid and then bridge over to Arbitrum or Ethereum. It's got to be on Ethereum, though. It has to. Arbitrum is just too small of an ecosystem. 50%, a little over 50% is going to the community. People love the token distribution here. Peek at that. The Azuki community, that is Azukis, Elementals, Beans, 37.5% of the tokens going to them. That's a huge chunk. That's huge. I think Pudgy Penguins, their Pengu token, somewhere in the, was it 23%, 27%? In that ballpark, right? That was Pengu. 37, it's a big old number. 37.5% goes to the Azuki NFT holders. Great stuff. Community cultivation, 13%. Company, 7.44. Partner communities, 2%. Who's that going to be? We don't know yet. I'm assuming that's like Doodles. Actually, assuming that might be Hyperliquid. That might be them. Team and advisors, 15%. Although, team and advisors, you got to add up company and team and advisors. To me, that's all the same. And then domain expansion, 24.44%. There's the breakdown. Again, people really like it. I like it. Excited to welcome the Hyperliquid community, Hype Stakers, Kato Yappers, and Arbitrum communities, and anime communities to the open anime universe. Now, anime communities, there's an anime foundation. There's a lot of anime projects who are tweeting about being a part of it. Cyberkongs were in there with Genkai. Oni Force was one of those, right? There's some anime-focused collections that, had, again, earlier last year tweeted they were part of the anime foundation. I wonder if those are the communities that are going to get a chunk of this here, too. It would make some sense. Full tokenomics here. Again, a breakdown of who's getting what. And the unlock schedule. Let me see if I can open this and we can dive in. Total supply, guys. Oh, that's a bummer of a chart. It's hard to see that. Total supply. Man, tokenomics are, it's big. Okay, for context. Pengu's got a much bigger supply. Pengu's like 88. Oh, wow, hang on. Let me peek at Bitcoin here. Hit 89K. Wow. Look at that. There it is. Okay, for context, Pengu, 88 billion tokens. A pretty normal number of tokens is about 1 billion, right? 1 billion. So you got somewhere kind of in between here with 10 bill. What is Emmy? I think Emmy is 1 billion tokens too, I think. So you got 10 billion tokens here. Here is the unlock schedule. Right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, the Azuki Communities tokens are fully unlocked. The Community Cultivation tokens fully unlocked. The Partner Community is fully unlocked. Domain Expansion fully unlocked. What is locked and has that vesting period is the company and the team and advisors. They'll start unlocking after a year. And you see that accelerate up till we get to 3 years in. At that point, fully unlocked. So it's nice for Azuki holders that they're liquid right away. Token launches, they can dump all their coins. That is a concern. At the same time, you probably believe that, I guess the Azuki community probably is the one that has the most conviction in this token, right, in their plans. And so you might think maybe these guys aren't going to dump right away, but that is the big concern. So now we're at this point where a lot of speculation, a lot of price predictions based on not a lot of info. We still don't have a lot of info. There's no VCs here, right? I don't think we know who the market maker is or who market makers are. I don't think we have any of those details yet, so just pure speculation on what this could be worth. So what happens is we know how many tokens there are. We can start speculating on market cap, and then you kind of reverse engineer that to figure out token price, market cap. And so that's a lot of what's happening here. 70% of the token supply is unlocked right out of the gate. Concerning, but like I said, I think with this kind of community, the guys who probably believe in what's coming, probably not as scary as you might think normally here. See people making a lot of comments about this, though. A lot. A lot. A chunk of that supply, community cultivation, partner community. Okay, community cultivation is probably another bucket that probably won't move much because whatever that community cultivation is, it doesn't happen immediately. It's not an instant distribution to certain communities and tokens just have the opportunity to be dumped. Same with domain expansion. And that makes up, man, that's a big chunk of the supply. That looks like, let's see. This is maybe, seeing if I can eyeball how much that is. Let's say like 500,000 tokens. And then hang on here. I mean, altogether, this is a couple billion tokens that are unlocked right at the start, but probably aren't even going to be out there for people to trade yet, meaning that's for domain expansion and community cultivation. It's going to take time to make those partnerships, have those deals, pay in that token. And at that point, when it's in someone's hands, maybe then it gets dumped. But point there is I wouldn't expect that those tokens are just like dumped on the market right out of the gate. They're just sitting in a wallet till there's something to do with them. It's just to give a little peace of mind to anybody who is worried about that big unlocked supply. Again, it is a big unlocked supply. Hyperliquid. Hang on, we got audio there? No. But Hyperliquid, wild platform, right? A certain percent, I don't know if that's that 2% that we saw in that chart. Which is that? Was that partner communities? I don't think that's their chunk. Which is the Hyperliquid allocation? Oh, that, you know what? That actually is, the 2% is Hyperliquid, and Kato and Arbitrum and Anime Community. Okay, so for all those communities, it's 2% for them. That doesn't feel like a lot. I guess you'd have to dive into Pangu and see how much of the initial supply went to those partner communities. It felt like a lot, though. It felt like more than 2%. But yeah, 2% goes between all those guys. So it's not a ton. It's not a ton going to those other communities. We're talking about in the, low millions. Hundreds of millions, maybe. I'm not going to math right now. All right, so let's get to some predictions here for anime. By the way, who's got an Azuki? Which you guys are in that ecosystem, and how do you feel about the announcement here? Cosmos, good to see you, man. Good morning. Part of it, this is kind of touching on Bitcoin. Part of why I think we haven't seen the masses in yet. Bitcoin at 100K sounds expensive, right? I'm assuming most people feel like they missed it, right? I would feel like that. ETH at 2,900, wow. I assume most people feel like they missed it, and that's why they're not getting in. Like, man, I wish I did it, but, done. No, they need something else to make them realize it's very early, and that's going to happen. Strategic reserve, all these crypto, when the mainstream starts picking up on these $1 million price predictions, that brings them in. If the public thinks they can 10x, 20x, whatever, when they start hearing Michael Saylor predictions, right, 13 million Bitcoin, that's what gets people FOMOing back in. And that will happen. That's going to happen. All right, so here's a prediction here. Prediction is each Azuki gets about $24,000 worth of anime coin. Elementals get $2,500. Beans, $1,400. Bobu, what are Bobu? I don't remember those. $80. I thought that's their little anime AI dude. Is it? Is that their anime character, or is there a collection here? And that drop is significantly smaller than the Pangu drop. And I think that's probably a safe bet. That said, let's see what market cap they're figuring here, because I think it's kind of low. Let's see. Here's a prediction. Here, let me zoom out real quick. Okay, this prediction was before we got the tokenomics. Okay. Where's that market cap? Yeah, 23K, 2,400. Okay, this is factoring in an $840 million market cap. So that's where we're going to start. That's going to be our baseline. $840 million market cap for anime coin means each Azuki probably getting around $24,000. Elemental, 2,400. Beans, you can see that here. I don't think it'd be crazy to double that. This is assuming that Azuki, or it's Azuki, right? But I'm going to say Anime Chain, Anime Foundation. I'm assuming that they're going to come with some news. I'm assuming they've got something really spicy lined up. I'm assuming they've got some more big-name directors, like legendary anime directors. And on top of that, I'm also assuming they've got some buy-in from major animation studios that maybe want to be a part of this thing. Maybe. I have no clue. In fact, I don't even know if the anime audience is a crypto-friendly audience or if they're more like gamers who are kind of turned off by this stuff. I really don't know. But the opportunity is here for this. Let's say perfect scenario, best case scenario is the anime base, billion people, it's a lot of people, happen to like crypto, right? We know that part of the world loves gaming, loves collectibles. There's very much like a big overlap here. Like it should work. It should work. And so if that's the case, and there's a big old plan, and there's some big names to come, big partnerships, 840 mil might not be it. Let's say double that. And so even if we double it, then we're looking at about a $50,000 drop for Azuki holders. And again, $5,000 for elementals. You can go down that list and add that up. Still doesn't touch Pengu. Pengu was a $100,000 drop for these guys. It was, $10,000, $11,000, $13,000 for Lil Pudgies. But you can certainly run with this and think that maybe that market cap gets even higher again, if depending on, it just depends on those partnerships. It really does. Hang on, let me peek at these comments. Interesting. Trump Jr. joins Kalshi prediction market. Interesting. That prediction market was one that there was a big old legal case in the fall about that, and a judge ruled that prediction markets were legal here in the States. Christian, no anime. Okay. I'm with you. Tokenomics do seem fair. It's a good allocation for the community. G-Equals, thank you, man. Bobu, the bean farmer. Okay. Christian, estimates on 700 mil. Yep. Mike, I hope that's the case. False move Monday, recover hard. I just wonder if we get a recovery until we get CPI readings, right? Until FOMC. I wonder if we just kind of do this thing, tread water and just kind of pump and dump and whatever, rinse and repeat here. That I'm not sure. But it feels like that till we get something a little more concrete. So we'll see. But maybe no Azuki holders watching. Interesting. It is a different kind of community, and I think most people I know don't have an Azuki, never have. Even elementals, right? Most people I know, like my circle, never got into that Azuki ecosystem. I don't know why, too. Maybe they got too expensive too quick, and then bear market, and just people not wanting to chase, the new. I shouldn't say new, but people not wanting to get into a new collection for themselves at the prices they're at. Azukis are not cheap. But this does feel like a pretty exclusive drop in. And to that point, really rewarding for those guys, for that community. And those guys have believed in that collection for years at this point. All right, here is Steve's predictions. And he's factoring in $2 billion market cap, which I do kind of like. At a $2 billion market cap, well, he's got it. Well, okay, right around the numbers we were seeing. About $50,000 drop per Azuki. Look, to make that thing on par with Pengu, it needs to be about a $5 billion market cap. That is really hard to picture, right? Pengu's not even there, and there's nobody bigger than Pengu now. Pudgy Penguins. Arguably, well, not even arguably, it's in the numbers. Not even Bored Apes. Pudgy's more expensive NFT floor price, higher market cap on their coin. There's nobody bigger than Pudgy Penguins. So yeah, I think there's a lot of hopium thinking we see a $5 billion market cap. Still, it's a nice allocation. I'd like to compare Pudgy Penguins and Azuki holders, right? Like number of holders, average number of NFTs held, that kind of thing. I'd like to get an idea if it's a lot of guys, maybe I should say fewer guys, but holding more of them, so they're still getting a pretty spicy drop. Either way, it's free money. It's a lot of it. And again, I hope they have some spicy news coming. People watching for that hyperliquid allocation. That'll be fun, man. It's a different kind of trader over there. Or I should say, it's a lot of the same people, but they trade different. That could get spicy over on hyperliquid. I still was thinking a bigger supply over there to really, really pump up that market cap. Is that how it works? I don't know. It feels like it to me. But again, more comments about the number of tokens unlocked, the no VCs. It is interesting. Spencer here. What fund is he with? Spencer something. Ventures. Spencer Ventures. Something like that. Big pudgy investor here, this guy. Interestingly, Azuki doesn't call it an allocation for liquidity, or for listings on other platforms other than Hyperliquid, right? There's no T1 exchanges announced. He's right. Most token launches reserve 5 to 15% for exchanges and market makers. So maybe no Binance listing. Pengu had that. Maybe no Coinbase listing. Maybe they got their own market makers. It's interesting. Look, either we have more details coming or they're making this full on a community thing. I also wonder. All right, big old if and maybe, and actually think this is going to happen. You ready? Here's my prediction. Just for fun. Magic Eden Dex is launched, and maybe one of the first tokens they announce is a partner token launch. It's the Azuki coin. Maybe. Be a nice hype and marketing for the both of them. That Azuki Dex, I think, is coming this month. Or excuse me, the Magic Eden Dex, I think, is coming this month. And they do support Arbitrum. Let me double check. I'm pretty positive they support Arbitrum, but it's also an Ethereum token. Yeah, so they got Arbitrum here. Okay, so that's the prediction. Magic Eden Dex launches this month, and the anime coin is launched on Magic Eden. And it will actually, I think, prove out that you don't need the Binance listings. You don't need the coin. Of course, they help. Then again, we see those AI tokens not really doing well once they get those spot listings there, or the perps. I think that's going to happen. Again, just a gut feeling. Maybe not even gut feeling. It's just things kind of line up. I could see that happening. I could see it happening. I actually think it will happen. So there it is. Lock it in. Magic Eden Dex launched. Azuki announced as a partner who's going to launch here. They do want it to be a token launch pad. So launch Azuki, launch anime on Magic Eden. Lock it in. What do you guys think? You think that happens? You think that's likely? I think it is. All right, so as more details come about Anime Coin, and there are more coming, again, I think there's some kind of framework, media studio, more partners, a lot of news coming. We'll keep you updated on that. I'm excited for it. As my guy Confusion says, they're doing things with an air of confidence. I think they got more cooking here, right? It's not flashy. There's no crazy hype, but they're going to ramp up that Yaps campaign. The Hyperliquid stuff is going to drive some. It will bring some energy. I think they got more coming. Again, I feel kind of confidence from that team with this strategy so far. We will see. All right, but now we've got basically a little battle brewing. Kinda. It's not super PvP, but it kind of is. Pengu versus Anime Coin versus Doodles Coin. Right? It's very interesting. All these tokens that are coming, and it is splintered on different blockchains, which is interesting. And I want to put this on your radar. I don't know if this is true. I don't. Hang on, I can't not look at Bitcoin here. Okay, almost 92K. It's a nice bounce. Really, really good. Really good. Okay, putting this on your radar from Broski. I don't know if he's got any insider info. I don't know what, but maybe. Little hopium here. What if? Unofficial reports suggest that Pengu holders could receive airdrops from other projects worth over $10,000 for every million Pengu coins this year. Hey, that wouldn't be so bad. I'm not in that club. I'm not in that million token club. 250K club here. Pengu enjoyer, not Pengu holder, though. But I think that's likely. I do. I think that's pretty damn spicy, actually. A million Pengu, something like 30 grand. I think that's pretty darn likely. I think Luca's going to reward their top holders. I think million Pengu holders got to be considered pretty elite in their ecosystem. So this wouldn't surprise me at all. In fact, I might even say I could bet on that. Yeah, see, I do think there's something here. Again, it's coming from Broski. I don't think he even works for these projects. I don't know. Maybe he's on the abstract team. I can't tell. I don't know. But he's saying when you learn about details of the upcoming airdrops, I feel like there is more coming for Pengu holders. It's why I made my bet. It's not a small bet. It's not a big bet. But it's why I made my bet on Pengu. At the very least for the ABS token drop. I wish I had a million. If I could, I would have a million Pengu. I'm very, very bullish on it. But I do think there's stuff coming. I certainly hope. All right, if you guys were around this weekend, man, you couldn't avoid this story. In fact, at this point, I assume everybody knows the ins and outs of this story. But I'm going to cover it because, actually, you know what? I might do this really quick because I had a couple other things I want to get to, and there's not a lot of time. Whatever, we'll do this fast. Okay, this weekend, couldn't avoid this story. AI Accelerate. talked about this Friday. On the Friday show, showed this, it was the morning show, and said, if you have the opportunity to get in this, you get in this. Really simple. AI narrative, DAO narrative, or AI meta, DAO meta, which the DAO meta is coming strong. And so you have a DAO here that is going to be focused on the crypto AI sector with members from, as they're showing, front and center, Coinbase, Google, AI16Z, Virtuals, Abstract, right? The who's who of this space, Bankless. I mean, man, you can't ask for much more than this. A well-respected team of founders on the DAO, a decently well-respected group of developers. Shaw's there, Saigar's there. I can't speak for the investment guys. I can speak to the research guys. Sammy is as good as it gets. The outreach guys, man, there's few bigger names bigger than the Bankless guys and Thread guy. We saw this, I said ape. This right here, man, ape. Whirly Girl saying not jazzed about the DAO stuff. I feel that. And I'll also say, I think a lot of us bought the DAO Kool-Aid last cycle. It was exciting. It's like it leans into decentralization. It leans in like the ethos of crypto. And so when we started hearing about DAOs, we're like, oh man, it's a new way to do things. And it never materialized. They're too hard to do. Like to run them, the mechanics of it, to track things, to actually get momentum on them, it felt impossible. I will say I think AI is the missing piece there. If an AI can actually help you build it and drive it, where you're not spending all your time on the administrative side of it. I tried launching a DAO. Well, not even tried. I did launch a DAO in 2022. Impossible. I've got it. It worked, but man, I spent hours and hours and hours and hours building out the thing just to basically migrate away from the solution we had to something that was easier to use, that was like more off-chain, because it was so hard to run. They're so difficult, from getting people to participate and vote, even when they have a financial interest, right? They bought in, to then making trades and needing multiple signatures, to doing this and that. It's so difficult. And especially at scale, I can't imagine. AI, I think, fixes a lot of that. And so if that potential that we saw in DAOs years ago is real, if that can happen, and if AI is the secret to unlocking that, there is potential with this stuff. I'm kind of turned off the DAO stuff, but I'm watching it for potential, just like I am Metaverse. Right? Metaverse was too early. It didn't materialize. It might be more ready this time around. We'll see. But this looked strong. This looked like an ape until, well, it came out and we started seeing guys like ICO Beast getting a big old allocation. I'm going to throw out a random number. I don't know what he bought in, but people who put in half a soul made $250,000. People who put in 5 soul made $1.8 million. Right? So it was all awesome till we saw that. That didn't feel good. I like people supporting the good guys. I don't have a comment about ICO Beast. I've heard good about him. I've heard bad about him. I'm indifferent because I've seen both sides of him. I think he gives fine alpha and early stuff, and I think he's transparent enough. I don't think he's fully transparent, though. It's just my thought. So I'm on both sides with him. But you saw guys winning big. Crypto Leon got in on that sale. Again, 0.5 soul turns to 900-something soul. Crazy. Yep, there it is. That did not sit well with a majority of crypto Twitter. And I think a majority of crypto Twitter is wrong. I'm not saying it's awesome. This is what people are saying. It's a big old cabal thing. It's friends and family who ate. That's true. It's absolutely true. It was free money for the good old boys club. In fact, I don't know, saying good old boys club, I don't know any women that ate from here. Not that I don't know if it matters. Just a random comment. I think it's all dudes, which is probably most of crypto too, but just an observation here. But you had people not liking this at all. And I disagree with people in that this was not dirtier than anything else. In fact, I don't know if it was dirty. It was exactly what's happened here for years and years and years. Every token drop, every NFT project, insiders, friends, they get the whitelists every single time. And the difference here is this was transparent. This was right in people's faces. That was the difference here. It wasn't dirtier than anything else, not even close. It was, if at worst, as dirty as everything else. The biggest difference, again, it was transparent. We know, and I think we knew ahead of time who was getting a drop, how much they paid, what is it worth, who sold. We had those details, and when we had that right in front of our face, everybody's screaming about it. It happens on every single drop in crypto. Every single one. So the community's pissed, though. I mean, you guys, again, you've seen. The community's pissed. They like rejecting this. And that said, if anybody got to buy in, probably would have done the same thing. Taken the opportunity, right? I said it. Ape this thing if you get that chance. If the market cap's low enough, ape this thing. I would have aped in. If I got in a pre-sale, I absolutely would have done it. I'll tell you what, I probably would have sold it too. I probably would have sold it. I could definitely use the money. I probably would have sold it. I kind of would hope you guys would do the same. I don't think this is like an ethics thing at all. I think literally all that's happening here is how transparent it is. Whirly Girl, I think they did. I think the list of who was in was out ahead of time. Christian, it's good to see you, man. Hope your day's great. The problem here's the core problem, is that normal people didn't really have the chance to get in. They said they did. And look, I heard that some normal people did get in, like before it caught on, before the hype really exploded. And this was announced in such a short time frame between announcement and launch that when it was announced, if you DM'd the fund, and asked to get in, you may have gotten in. I heard that people actually did get in who just DM'd asking for a spot. And then when the hype picked up, then you had no chance. Volatility, you are not wrong. He's saying here, because it always happens doesn't make it right. Totally correct here. I just don't know if that method is exactly wrong. It could be. This is one of those things I can argue both sides. I'm like, it's kind of an interesting way to do stuff. Early believers, early people who help, reward them. And if it's an astronomical number, great. Like, whatever. As long as other people have a chance to somehow participate and get into it, what it ultimately is as long as everybody at least knows all the facts about it. If stuff's hidden, that's where I have a problem. And it's not even a huge problem. It's like, I'll stay away from that stuff. I don't know if I see any big problem with even this insider cabal shit. It makes me want to work hard and get in that insider cabal. I'm not sure if it's wrong, and it could be. I'm just not settled on it yet, right? I got it. There's so much to think through with it. Is it a new way to do stuff, or is it a really calculated scumbag thing? And again, I can argue both sides of it. I had a bigger problem with the anonymous accounts that were, brand new, fresh Twitter accounts that got allocations and dumped. And that's where I start thinking there's some shenanigans. That it's like guys who are already on the list that were on the list 2, 3, 4 times, and then they're, dumping. That's where I'm like, that feels not good. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And it's still worth pointing out it's exactly what happens. The bankless guys did themselves no favor, though. I think they fucked up. Well, they know they fucked up. They dumped their allocation after promoting this thing. They dumped it immediately. And I think they either didn't realize they were dumping from their main wallet, or they said they just got really caught up in it and they sold and they weren't thinking they shouldn't have. And then they bought back. But they bought back cheaper than where they sold. They didn't buy back with all their profits. They bought back the same number of tokens that they sold, which is bullshit. By the way, this is just a funny post. Haley Welsh did not join them, but we're just putting some ruggers on the same page. One of the founders, Ijaz, saying he didn't feel good about what happened. He knows that they could have done it better. Hard getting all that FUD. And I buy this all to a degree. I stopped buying, and you guys know we talked about this yesterday, but I stopped buying when he treats us like we're idiots. Which is, let me find this for you. Hang on, let me find that part. This is where I stopped buying everything he's saying, because it's a whole, woe is me thing. As soon as you start doing, leaning too hard in that woe is me shit, I start calling bullshit. I'm kicking myself for not slowing down. We believed our advisors would help us, whatever. Didn't believe for a second things would get as crazy as it did, right? Thought launching on a day where markets were down was a good thing. I don't buy any of this. None of it. Because when I go look at their site, for him to say, where's the site? For him to say we didn't realize it would be as big as it was, as hyped as it was, I'm sorry. That's where I call bullshit. That's where I know they're playing us for fools. There's no hotter sector in crypto than AI. This thing is literally called Accelerate DAO, Accelerate Crypto AI. Front and center money, the market cap of AI. Front and center, the names Coinbase, Google, AI16Z, Abstract, Bankless, right front and center. You're putting these names and these companies in people's faces with crypto AI, with Accelerate. You're putting those people and those brands in people's faces with the Bankless guys, with Thread guy, and you're saying we didn't even think it would get big. Hold on. It's so stupid. It's so unbelievable that they think we're that dumb. They knew how big it would get. They knew it. If they didn't, they're fucking idiots, and I don't believe they're fucking idiots. I think they're incredibly smart guys. They think we're stupid. They think we're stupid and will buy that excuse. There's no chance that they thought this was going to be a small thing. None. So don't buy it, and I don't respect that because I know they're lying. Roperito, similar thing. Like, didn't do it right. There were some mistakes. Yeah. And all they can do really is move forward and hopefully do the right thing from here on. They are doing that as best I've seen, which is coming up with their self-imposed vesting schedule. I like that. I think that's the right thing. From here on out, they got to do the right thing. They've got all the pieces in place now and the infrastructure now to do something awesome. And I would say if you believe in those people before this event happened, and if you believe the AI crypto narrative, and you believe they could do something interesting with all that money, with all this FUD now, I think that's a pretty interesting opportunity. And I'm in. I'm down right now. I'm in at about 120 mil. But I'm in. I believe in some of the names on there. I believe in Saigar. I still like Shaw, although there's a lot of questionable stuff about him. Why can't I find... I believe in that group of people. Having Sammy with a big allocation and hopefully with a big voice in that DAO. Same with Tyler. I believe in those guys. At least I'll roll the dice on something that those guys have a voice in. 78 mil market cap right now. I think it's pretty interesting here. I think it's pretty interesting that we have potentially a competitor to AI16Z. That said, there is some really wild shit going on here between AI16Z and these guys. Darn, you know what? I don't think I bookmarked the tweet, so I'll just kind of sum it up. First off, Shaw saying what he did with his allocation, he basically gave it all away, which is cool. Although Shaw's becoming a questionable character. I don't question him yet because I don't know. I see a lot of people who just get salty about, money stuff questioning him. I don't. I actually like Shaw until I see something definitive. But I will say there's something really weird about Shaw advising for them and being on their list of developers. And then I didn't bookmark this. I got to go find it. And it's really important. We should talk about it tomorrow. Shaw's talking shit about that Accelerate DAO, saying they're like a vampire attack on his thing. And actually he sounds pissed that they launched this thing, right? It's almost like he got caught up in it too, which is funny how money will do that. And all of a sudden he's like, hang on a second. These guys should have been building in the AI16Z ecosystem. Who the fuck are they to go launch their own thing, right? Who the fuck are those guys to launch their own thing and like cannibalize what we're doing? Shaw's not looking for PvP here. Shaw wants everybody in his thing. And to some degree, I don't blame him. Same thing happening in NFT. Imagine how much bigger, better this could be if it was a much more unified thing and everybody was pushing in the same direction instead of this like fucking tug of war in NFTs. I don't know. The Shaw stuff's really interesting. It's another one of those things I could argue both sides of it. George, do I like Waifu, the small cap AI agent? So the Waifu I was talking about it's a launch pad, not an agent. Right? The Waifu I was talking about, there's the VVAIFU, There's Waifu, that was that small, like, 100,000 to 1 mil to 3 mil market cap coin. It's a launch pad, and I was bullish on it because of that. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a minute. I think I'm bullish on all of AI still. So if it's still low market cap, I expect it to pump like everything. Right, George? Like everything I think pumps. And I think I was, excuse me, guys. I think I saw that getting to, something like 20 mil or so just because of Launchpad. That said, they're starting to become more and more Launchpads. It's getting much more competitive. I don't know. I'll have to look at it again. In general, I like everything AI that's got a product and is competent. And I think Waifu is that. But about Shaw, really really PvP guy. And really wants to not be PvP in a way, wants everything to be building with him. Under him is where it gets a little interesting. Hang on, guys. But the way he flipped on Accelerate is really interesting. So interesting. Oh, George. Okay, that's all part of the same conversation. There was a misunderstanding early about that waifu token, right? Initially, I think I said that was a mascot for that VVAIFU platform, but it's not that. It's a launchpad. So we are talking about the same coin, but it's not a mascot for the waifu launchpad. It is literally a mascot for its own launchpad. So it's a competitor to that. And I guess, again, I got to look at it, but I nothing has changed as far as what they are and what they're building, which changes the landscape around it. There's more launch pads, more competitive. Whirly Girl, okay, while I'm giving Shaw the benefit of the doubt still, he gives me SBF vibes. He does. And I liked SBF until we learned he's a criminal. I don't know. The Shaw thing's wild. All right, and final couple points here. I do want to get deeper into the Shaw stuff. I think it's worth it. I really do want to push Shaw to get him on the show. We had basically locked it in. And if I get him on, I don't even really want to talk about DAOs and agents that much. I want to talk about UVI. Okay, guys, a ton of FUD around meme land. We're going to end it kind of fuddy, unfortunately, but a ton of FUD around meme land. And people questioning what they're building. Like, what the fuck are these guys up to? They dropped a token. They've got their, like, meme coin quest kind of thing. You can earn tokens, right? But it's been crickets from them for a while. They brought on NFT Stats. He's a part of the project now. But, like, crickets. And what's interesting is some of the community starting to get fed up with it. We're so reactionary. We are so demanding, needing stuff now. Like, now. What's going on? I was told that the biggest community chapter of Meme Land just disbanded over the weekend. Like, no longer going to tolerate the no updates, which is interesting because I think the FUD is kind of new. Unless they have been in talks with a team and they know there's no news coming or something, I don't know. But I heard that the biggest community, Meme Land community, has just disbanded, which is really interesting. So some FUD, major FUD in the Meme Land community. I see an equal number of tweets supporting them and guys actually doubling down and buying. And I do think they're a team you bet on. It's a great team. They are a great team. And I also saw some FUD in Doodles. This one's kind of icky, actually. Kind of. Okay, you guys know Julian. I think he's one of the co-founders of Doodles. Don, that's a good point. George, Butoshi was on the Block Runners podcast. He's definitely a young dude. He's young and he's a little immature, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. He's just a young guy, and I like him. He's a character, and he's tech savvy. I like Butoshi a lot, but he is definitely young, and he probably has a lot to learn. Doodles FUD. Julian, again, I believe co-founder of Doodles, if not co-founder, just up there, dude. Right? Definitely one of the top dudes on the team. I think co-founder though. Guys. When the Doodles announced their token, remember that very cryptic tweet? So they put out a cryptic tweet, and this is a bad look. I'm sorry. I don't think this is okay. Put out cryptic tweet. Let's just say they announced the token. Same day, Julian starts selling some Doodles. That's a big no-no, man. That's a big old no-no. So he took his ENS and transferred it somewhere else so his username would show different. Maybe that's a coincidence, or maybe he was trying to just not draw attention. Maybe. That's a bad look. I don't think you can do this, man. I don't think you can announce anything major, and then dump NFTs then. Yeah, I don't know, man. At least it's not insider trading. At least he didn't, I don't know. At least he wasn't buying ahead of the tweet, I don't think. But that is not a good look to be dumping on future community members right after you make a major announcement. I don't know, something about that doesn't sit right to me. I just think that's like a default no-no in this space, right? Volatility, that's a big no-no. You don't do that. You need to be welcoming people in your community, not being part of what's driving up prices, maybe. Or I don't know. Actually, it's kind of the opposite. Him listing, if anything, is adding supply. In theory, is not making price go up. It's just the wrong time to be selling. In fact, founder or co-founder, whatever, of Doodles, you should probably be onboarding people. You should probably be selling. You should probably be giving that to people to bring them in your ecosystem, to be totally honest. Is it fraud if you announce a thing and you sell on the market and it is transparent, right? Is that fraud? It's not a good look. I know that. But people want to see you and your conviction, and then it's such a tricky space. You're entitled to sell. You are. But as a founder, there's just a little different kind of standard you're held to, and it's not this standard. It's not a good look. So there we go, man. Just FUD in some top projects. Bad time for it, too, when the market's not looking so good, not feeling so good. But also it is what it is, and the space will move on. Look at that. Bitcoin back almost to 93K. Beautiful. The space will move on fast. Yeah, the name change is weird. That's weird to me. And again, it's so transparent. He's got to know that. So it's like, why? It's really weird stuff. Again, community, short-term attention span, or short-term memory. People will be moved on. And that applies to, and maybe this is exactly where I wrap it. That applies to AI16Z and Shaw. It does. Make no mistake. Whatever we think of him right now, and even if he's a bad guy, I don't know. To some degree, first and foremost, we're here to make money. Maybe not first and foremost, but it's up there. And I got to say, without fail, something like what's happening in AI16Z does drive down the price. The FUD does that. And I'm sorry, there's nobody better. There's nobody with bigger reach right now than that crew. And I think it's an automatic that this thing gets back to its all-time high. And I believe smashes it. My opinion hasn't changed. I think AI16Z can be a $20 to $40 billion token. Yep. That sounds even crazier right now, considering what's gone on the past few days. Sounds even crazier, I know. But I do think an AI coin is going to do that. And as of right now, I don't think there's anybody with a bigger chance than them. Shaw, the biggest X factor, both positive and negative, right? He could kill this thing. Maybe. He also could take this to like astronomical levels. So I look at that as an interesting opportunity, man. I really do. I really do. If you can go in with size, I think that's spicy. I think it's spicy. Man. It's never a dull moment here, is it? From the FUD to the insider trading stuff to the just man. It is a wild-ass space, and I'm going to enjoy it before we get regulated to death here. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but oh boy. All right, so Wednesday, CPI readings. Next week, I believe, FOMC. Trump inauguration. Man, big stuff coming. Great to see the Bitcoin bounce back. Keep your eyes on the AI market. I do think that's going to bounce back strong. And also watch for this rotation back to pure meme coins. It's happening. It started. I think meme coins come back with a vengeance. I am still keeping an eye on Mustard, Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar, Pumpy Pump there. Kind of feels like something that'll happen. All kinds of opportunities are on the horizon, though. So exciting stuff. And, of course, more details from Anime Coin on the way, guys. So exciting stuff. All right, we got the afternoon show today. That's at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. And so make sure you're subscribed to SlamX Official here on YouTube. Follow us, CryptoSlam.io on X. Go chat with the Bull. Get your Bull tokens. That's the Bull AI. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you in a few hours. See ya.